Hello everybody. So previous video you have seen the concept of subnetting. So in this video I am going to talk about the subnetting in Cisco packet tracer. So basically the network I will implement in Cisco packet tracer. So this video we have solved this question wherein in a university 5 computer labs needs to be set up using a class C IP address. This IP address is given and fixed length subnet mask method needs to be used, right? So let's move to Cisco packet tracer, and here basically I will create the network first. Just let me take the devices. I'll take PCs, two PC, and here I'm taking two more PCs. So here basically what I'm going to do, I'm basically connecting one PC in a network, right? And the other PCs uh, using this IP address range can also be connected. So here just go to network devices, go to switches, take 2960 switch over here. So basically I am creating 4 different networks over here, right? So these networks, and use the appropriate cable. So here the cable will be here basically I can use uh, this copper straight through cable is connected past Ethernet port 1, and then so let me connect to it, right? I have connected all the devices with the switch, and now here I am going to take a router wherein I am going to take this 841 router, right, over here. So two routers I need to take, and then now we need to connect the switch with the router. So let's connect it, and with the second switch also with this router. So like this one, and then here, right? So here we have connected the PCs with the switch and switch with the router, and then here basically we have taken two routers. Now these two routers needs to be connected to a serial port, right? Once you try to connect it directly, you will get some error. So for that purpose, first we need to add a serial port to this router. Just click on this router, right? So here basically we need to click on WIC1T, which provides single port serial connection, right? Which is not available currently in this router. So we just click on this, and before that what we can do, we can simply switch off this router first, then go to WIC1T, right? Drag this to this place. Okay, it's not coming, so again try. We need to just keep it at proper place, right? So now it is there. Now switch it on, okay, and then close it. Same process we need to repeat with this router also. First switch it off, click on WIC1T, and then just place it over here, right? Then switch it on, close this. So now you will see a serial port will be available, right? So let me connect this with the serial port. So once you will click on this, close this one, take the connection. Here I'll take this serial DCE, click on the first router. So we can see the serial 0 port is there. Then click on the other side and click on the serial 0 port. So now we have established the serial connection between these two routers, right? So we can simply move this network a little bit towards right so that the things should be visible clearly. Now the next task is, so here basically I am going to create 4 subnets, right? So in this subnet basically I am connecting only one network, one system, and these other systems can also be connected. Just we need to see the subnet range, right? Subnet IP address range. So here I'm considering this is my first subnet, second one, third one, and the fourth one, right? So first thing what I need to do, go to this PC, assign the IP address, go to desktop, go to IP config. So here basically I have written some of the detail, right, as we have solved the question in previous video, right? So I have written some of the details, and basically the class C IP address is given as 200.15.5.0/24, right? And we need to create 5 subnets. So basically 5 subnets I am considering. These are the 4 subnets, and basically one network we need to establish between these two routers, okay, which are connected through serial ports. So total 5 networks I am considering over here. And so for creating 5 networks basically we require 3 bits which needs to be borrowed from the host bit. So 2 to the power 3 means total 8 subnets can be created, right? And then here we can see this since we have borrowed 3 bits, so now our subnet mask will be changed, right? So new subnet mask will be 255.255.255.224, right? And here basically total 27 ones will be there in our subnet mask, right? Or we can say the prefix we need to use /27. And then we'll start with the subnet 1, right? So this is the range for subnet 1. So total 32, because 3 bits we have borrowed, remaining 5 bits from the host part can be used to generate different host IP addresses, right? So this is the range I have written for subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3, 4, and 5. So we'll start with the subnet 1. So I have clicked on this PC. So I'm assuming this is connected in. So basically I am connecting this to subnet 1, right? So here the IP address also needs to be from this subnet 1 range. So I'm writing 200.15.5. Then see, this is the network address. First address is the network, last one is the broadcast address. So first usable address we need to write, that is .1. Okay, I'll copy this. And then what is the subnet mask which we need to use? Subnet mask will be in case of FLSM strategy. It will be used same for all the subnets. So which we have computed over here, that is 255.255.224. So we need to change this to 4, right? The default gateway also needs to be added, that we will do it later. So close this one. So this PC is connected in subnet 1, right? Now going to the other PC, go to desktop, config, and here pick one address from subnet 2. So here I am adding the address. Let me just copy. So here the subnet 2 starts from 200.15.5.32. So first usable address will be 33, right? This will be the first usable address, and then subnet mask will remain same. It will be 224. Okay, then close this. Similarly, go to PC2 on the other side, desktop, ipconfig, and here use one of the usable address from subnet 3. So it will be first usable address will be 5.65. So I will just change this 65, and the subnet mask will be 224. Close this, go to PC3, desktop, ipconfig, and here we need to assign one of the usable address from subnet 4. So it is starting from 96, so it will be 97, right? Click on the subnet mask, change the subnet mask also, it should be 224, then close it, right? So we have basically assigned the IP address to all 4 subnets. So here basically we can use multiple PCs also, and we can assign the addresses from this range, okay, in respective subnets. Now what we need to do, now we need to configure these routers. Okay, so we can see this switch is connected to this. Just move it, okay, so that we can see the interface name, right? So also just move this. Okay, so this is connected fast Ethernet 0/0, and here the second switch is connected to fast Ethernet 0/1. So we need to configure these two interfaces. So to do that, just click on this, right? Go to CLI, or we can go to CLI, or we can use config. From config also we can simply do that, okay, but we will go to CLI, right? Press enter. So here basically first we need to enable, and then config t, right? And then we need to assign the IP address to interface FA 0/0. So first go to interface, which one? Fast Ethernet 0/0, F 0/0, right? Fast Ethernet 0/0. Now assign the IP address. So I am just assigning the IP address is one of the IP address from this subnet 1 range, right? So just go to here, subnet 1 range is starting from 215.5.0 to 31, right? So just write it over here, 200.15.5 dot, since 1 we have already assigned, so I am going to assign maybe 2. I can assign, or means from this range we can choose any address, right? So maybe I can use this is the broadcast address. So if okay, for example, let's use the second address, and that is 2 itself, right? So I'm using 5.2. Let's copy this so that, okay, oh, sorry. So basically what we need to do, escape, right? uh, just repeat, enable config t interface, and here basically what we need to write, we need to write IP address, space AWDRE, okay, and then IP address 200.15.5.2 I'm assigning, right, space subnet mask. Subnet mask will be same, so 255.255.255.224, right? Press enter. So now we have configured this interface, which is this one, and then after that you need to write no set so that the state of this router interface can change to up, right? So let me just write over here which IP address I have assigned. So I will just take a, here I have assigned 5.2 to this interface, and to this interface basically I'm going to assign, so here I have taken 33, right? So I will assign 34 to this interface, right? So I'm just writing which IP address I am going to assign to these interfaces, so there should not be any issue. And for this interface I am going to assign uh, here basically start 65 then 66, right? 65 basically we have assigned to this PC, so we need to assign the next address, that is 66. I am assigning to here and just move it a little bit up. And for this router interface basically I will assign IP address from this subnet 4, so 97 I have assigned to this PC, right? You can check also. Okay, so here I am going to assign 98, right? So now do it. Basically click on this. Okay, so this is the process to assign the IP address to this router interface through this command, right? So now let me start it again. So here I will write router interface. Okay, so this is 0/1, and here IP address needs to be changed and it should be 34, right? So I'm simply writing over here 34, and this subnet mask will be same, right? Press enter and then no set. So to change the state of this router is up. Close this. So we have configured these two interfaces, right? Now moving to the other side, click on this second router, go to CLI, and then here I'll write no, and then just enable this router first. Okay, and then to configure mode, config T, and then after that we need to configure interface FA0/0, interface F0/0, and here we need to assign the IP address, sorry, and we need to enter the IP address as 200.15.5. So we are going to assign this 66, right? 5.66 to this router interface space subnet mask 5.224 space and write no set. Now we can see this is getting configured. Now same thing we need to repeat for the FA02 also. sorry, FA01, right? So I will simply take it interface FA01, and then IP address I need to change this IP address we are assigning to 98. So I'll write 98. Okay, and then IP address subnet mask will remain same, enter. And then after that, after assigning the IP address, we need to write the command no set, so that the state of this router interface can go to up. Okay, so now we have configured all these interfaces of the router, right? So once we can check this PC also, what IP address we have assigned to this PC, 97, right? So basically what we need to do over here next, we need to provide the default gateway also to all the PCs, right? So for this PC, what should be the default gateway? Default gateway will be the this router interface IP address. Okay, so we will do the same. We will go to ipconfig, and in this default gateway field, basically we need to write the IP address which we have assigned to this router interface, that is FA0/0. So here we have assigned the IP address as 5.2. Okay, then close this. Right, similarly for PC1, go to ipconfig, and here we have assigned the default gateway. Means we need to write the default gateway as the IP of this router interface FA0/1. So here we have assigned 5.34. Right, we have completed this also. Then go to PC2, repeat the same. Over here also we need to write the IP address, this one. This is the IP address of this interface, router interface. So just change it to 66. Right, we have done with this. Now coming to this subnet PC, and here go to desktop. Okay, maybe this we need to close. Go to ipconfig, and here just assign the IP address. Here we need to assign 5.98, right? So I'll change it to 98, and then close it. Right, so now we have done the IP configuration and then configured these router interface. So let's check whether we are able to pinch the PC1 from PC0 or not. So let me check. Go to command prompt and try to pinch it to dot 15.5. So which IP address we have assigned to PC1. Let's see over here, this is in subnet 2, so we have assigned 33 33, which is the first usable address, right? So let's see what is happening. Okay, first packet lost, after that we are getting reply. Okay, again you try same thing, now it will work. So here basically these two subnets are able to communicate with each other, right? PCs in these two subnets. Now similarly we can check on this side also, the same thing will happen. But what if this subnet 1 PC in subnet 1 wants to communicate to one of the PC in subnet 3, this PC2. Okay, so basically the packet needs to pass through this serial interface or a serial connection which we have not yet configured. So in this we will get the error, means request timed out error. So what we need to do, we need to configure this interface, serial interface also. Okay, so to do that, what we need to do, we need to click on this router. Okay, the router 3 first. I am taking this one, and here basically what we need to do, okay, we are already in interface mode, so we need to exit from that interface mode, right? And then here basically we need to write the basically here we need to assign the IP address, okay, to this interface also, serial interface. So here basically this will form a one network. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign the address from this subnet 5 range, right? So I will assign to these two interfaces. So for that purpose, what we can do, we can do through command line, or we can do through config mode also. Okay, so for that, if we want, we can do it using this this also, right? So okay, so let me just write it. Okay, so that we can assign the IP address to this serial port. Okay, so serial port, so we need to first write the IP, sorry, interface mode, interface, and this is serial, right? Serial, and then we need to write this is 0/0. Okay, 0/0. Okay, serial. Okay, I need to give the space after that. Again, it's showing invalid, so we need to write /0 because 3 times 0 is there. Okay, now it's working. So basically we need to enter this interface 0/0/0, and then here we need to assign the IP address. So we'll write IP space address. Okay, then space what we need to write, we need to write the IP address, one of the IP address from this subnet 5. Okay, so I can choose one of the IP address from this subnet 5, 215.5 129. I'm choosing 200.15.5.129, then space subnet mask. So subnet mask will be same as we have used for other subnets, 255.255.224, right? Press enter. So now we have assigned the IP address to this port. Okay, now similarly we need to do for the other port on this side. Just close this, right? Click on this serial port, and here basically we can do using config also. We can see config, you will see this serial port. Okay, so here we can assign that subnet mask. So let me just write it over here. The one IP address I have assigned from this range. Okay, so same I'll assign from this range only I'll assign the IP address. So that is 200 dot and then 15.5 dot 130. I'm assigning to this. Then subnet mask, it has automatically taken, right? And then we need to switch it on also. Okay, and then close this, right? Same thing we have done for this. Now we can check for this port also whether it is correct or not. serial port, right? We have assigned this 129, switch it on this PC, right? Means this interface also, then close this. So now we can see these two interfaces are also configured. So now what we need to do, so let's check whether we are able to pinch the PC2 in this subnet 3 from PC0 and subnet 1, right? So what we need to do, just click on PC0, go to command prompt, and here simply write pinch. Okay, and the IP address, what IP address we have assigned to subnet 3 PCS 65, right? So I'll write 65. Okay, so we are getting the reply. Okay, so here what we are getting, just look at this. Here we are getting the destination host unreachable, right? Reply from this and destination host unreachable. So so basically what we need to do, see what we have missed over here, we have assigned the default mask. So here the communication is in these two subnets, right, which are connected through this router interface. But here basically to this router interface we have not informed that what is the network, right? So what we need to do basically in this router interface, in this router basically we need to provide the network address of this subnet, right? This network address we need to provide to this router. Okay, and in the what you call next hop also, means this router also requires which is the next hop through which it the packets can reach to this subnet, right? So what is the next hop for this router, router 3? That is this, the second one, router 4, right? Similarly for router 4, what is the next hop? Router 3. So what we need to do, we need to again click on this router 3 first, and then here what we can do, we can go to CLI mode, right? Through CLI mode basically we can first enable. Okay, we are already in interface mode, right? So here basically we need to write a command IP route, and then we need to provide the IP address of the network, right? IP address of this network. Okay, and then subnet mask we need to provide. So just I am writing over here what is the network address of this subnet 3, right? Subnet 3 network address is this one, 215.5.64. This is the network address for subnet 3. So I'll write 200.15.5.64 space. I need to provide the subnet mask, so it will be 255.255.255.224 space. One more thing we need to provide over here. What is that? That is who is the next hop or next node. So the IP of this router, right? So we have basically here address of next router. So what is the address of this router? Address of this router. So basically here we have assigned one IP address to this router, right? So same thing we need to write. So we have assigned the address from this subnet 5, right? So we have assigned over here 215.5.130. So we'll write the same 200.15.5.130. Okay, so three parameters we need to pass. press enter. Okay, so we have added this one. Sorry, so what we need to do, so to this router we have provided the network address of this subnet. In the same way, we need to also provide the network address of this subnet 4. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to again repeat this step, and here what we can do, this this basically we need to provide the network address of this 4. So for subnet 4, what is the network address? 96. Okay, so here we will write 96. Okay, 130, it will remain same because next hop is same, subnet is also same, only the network address of the subnet 4 needs to be provided, which is 96. Okay, press enter. So now we have added the network address of this subnet as well as this subnet, right? So which we can check also from here. Go to config, and here in the CEO interface we are seeing the IP address and subnet mask, and go to static. So here basically we can see now these things we have added, right? So first we have given this one /27, right, .64 and .96, that is already added, right? So just close this. Same thing we need to do over here also. So just go to this one. So now this task will perform through this config mode. Go to static, and here basically add the IP address of this first subnet and then second subnet, right? So first subnet IP address is 200.15.5.1, right? No, this is the first usable address. Network address is 0, right? As you can see from here in the first subnet, this is the first this is the network address of this subnet, right? And then what we need to write, subnet mask also we need to write. So this is 255.255.255.224. Okay, so just copy this. And what is the next hop? Next hop for this, the address of this router. Okay, so what address we have assigned from the subnet 5 we have assigned, so we can simply write 200.15.5. We have assigned 129, right? Then add this. Okay, so this subnet IP address, network address we have provided. Now the same we need to repeat for this subnet also. Okay, so network address for this is which is the subnet 2. So this is 32, right? So I can change over here. This is the 32. Subnet mask will remain same, and next hop will be the IP address of this one, right? So this will also remain same. So let's add. Now what I need to do, just close this, right? So now let's try the same thing. Try to pinch the PC which is available in, which is connected to subnet 3. Okay, so just click on command prompt, right? So just now I have checked before. Okay, so I'll just repeat the command. So I am writing the IP address of this PC, which is .65. So I am trying to pinch PC2 from PC0, right? Same thing I have written and press enter over here. Let's see what happens. So now it is showing timed out. After that we are getting the reply successfully. Similarly, we try again the same command. Now we are getting. So here basically now this subnet 1 the PC connected to the subnet 1 is able to communicate with the PC in subnet 3. Similarly, we can check for the subnet 4, right? So here also we'll get the successful message. So this is the overall process wherein we have seen how to configure a class C IP address, class C network using fixed length subnet mask. So I hope this is uh, this will be helpful for you all, right? So if you like this, please mm, like this concept, please like this video and subscribe the channel also. Thank you so much.